I often get asked the question, can you be a Christian if you have doubts? Well, the short answer is yes, of course you can. Doubts are simply a part of life. And in fact, many of the most revered and respected Christians in the Christian tradition have themselves been famous for their doubts. After Mother Teresa died in 1997, her journals were published, and the world was shocked to learn that this great woman of faith had been beset with doubts throughout her life, even to the point of questioning God's very existence. Martin Luther, the man who in 1517 essentially started the Protestant Reformation, was so beset with doubts sometimes that, according to his companion, Philip Melanchthon, he couldn't even get out of bed. So doubts are simply part of Christian experience. One also finds them in Scripture. Consider someone like Elijah. Right after he had a mountaintop experience like no other on Mount Carmel, he was himself racked with doubts as he fled for his life. And then there's John the Baptist, the very man who baptized Jesus, the Son of God. After he was imprisoned, John the Baptist sent word to the disciples of Jesus to ask, "Are you really the one?" So even John the Baptist had doubts. Doubts are simply a part of life, and that's why we are advised in Jude 22 to be merciful with those who doubt. I like to give an illustration to this point. So imagine there's a bush plane flying in the northern woods, and it crashes, and the two men sent out a distress signal and are waiting for help to arrive. The first man, as they're lying there in the snow, he says, "I feel pain in my toes and my ankles and my calves, in my thighs, all the way up to the top of my head, I'm in pain." And the second man says, "You know what? I don't feel anything at all," and he drifts off to sleep. Now, of those two men, which one is in worse shape? The man who doesn't feel any pain, or the man who does? Clearly, it's the man who doesn't feel pain anymore who is in worse shape. And doubts can be like that. They're showing a healthy, living faith that is engaged with its environment. So not having doubts is not necessarily a good thing. Frederick Buechner put it well when he said, "Doubts are the ants in the pants of faith. They keep it alive and moving." And I think that's right. Now, having said that, there are some people that say they don't have any significant doubts. And I wouldn't want to suggest that all of those people are necessarily like that one guy falling asleep in the woods who's facing certain death. Because it is true that some people simply don't have occasion to experience the kind of pain in their Christian walk that leads to doubts and questioning. And they're not wrong, right? It's not bad that they don't have doubts. I don't think people should seek out doubt. So I don't think that we should be having stigmas either way. Whether you have doubts or whether you don't, it's not something to be happy about necessarily. I think that we just need to be merciful in sustaining everyone and be charitable to everyone else as we all seek to live out the Christian faith together. So whether you have doubts or whether you don't, the real issue is that we continue to be faithful every day, taking up our cross and following Jesus.